If you're feeling less than free in your business as a freelancer, coach, service provider, entrepreneur, there's a reason for that. And you are super duper not alone, because everyone on the internet has been teaching you about earning more revenue, right? We hear marketing strategies, sales strategies. You might even sometimes hear about mindset, but I have a formula that has been a game changer for my happiness as a human being, but also as a business owner. And I'm going to break that down for you in today's video. Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're a subscriber to Free Mama TV, if you're new around here, I'm so glad that you could join us in this video. I'm actually in a new part of my RV that is usually only reserved for our travel videos over on Living Golden. This is our wall of all of the places that we have gone during our year of travels, although I think we missed a few. And we also do homeschooling with two of my kiddos up here. So how am I able to travel full time, homeschool two of my kids, run a profitable business with team members, like all of these things? And the answer is actually inside of the freedom formula that I'm going to show you today. And we're up here because I've got two kiddos reading. I have my oldest kiddo on her virtual homeschooling inside my bed. And the reality is we make it work. And you don't hear a lot of what's going on behind the scenes with business owners. And I think that's a really big shame. I think there's a huge lack of vulnerability, of transparency. And I think that's what leads so many people to overwhelm and ultimately burnout, is we start the hustle, right? We start the business, especially I work with service providers. I'm a service provider. We learn our skill set. We get really good in our trade. Something finally clicks where we are courageous and we put ourselves out there and we get better and better at it. And we start making money, and getting clients gets even easier. And then we start chasing that money. The biggest problem is that this huge emphasis on money, while is important, you're running a business. It's not a hobby. It's not a charity. You need revenue both to be a business with clients and customers, but also it's the currency and tool that makes the world go round. You need money. You need money to pay your bills, the rent, whatever. But as you get better at these things and you have more money, something starts to shift for a lot of us, where we start compromising our integrity in other areas of our life. Maybe you're not taking care of your relationships. You're missing out on things with your kid or your spouse because you're always focused on making more sales or having to fulfill with those clients. And there's boundaries and all other sorts of things we could talk about there as well. But maybe it's your mental or physical health that starts to suffer. And this is what I see most abundantly, as well as something to take into consideration is your spiritual health. How's your soul? I remember the first time a coach asked me, like, how's your soul doing? And I was like, well, I literally don't even understand the question, because I was so wrapped up in all things business. And then if it wasn't business, it was about my children and being a mom. And I had really lost my own sense of humanity. After a decade in business, after really struggling with overwhelm and not so much burnout as much as like losing the passion. Like we hear entrepreneurs talk about, like, I want to light my business on fire, like especially coming out of the whirlwind of the pandemic, and the market continues to change and evolve, and making sales doesn't look like it used to in 2017, 18, 19. It's a different game. And some business owners said, you know what, like, I don't even want to play that game anymore. And it's a really big shame, because I think that if we can master the freedom formula and recalibrate to align ourselves in each of these buckets, then we can be really fulfilled and make a lot of money and help a lot of people in the process. So what the heck is the freedom formula? Well, I'm going to get really fancy here and dry it for you guys, because number one, this is just the reality of my situation right now. We're traveling full time. I live in an RV, and I don't do fancy even when I'm not. Like, I'd have a big whiteboard, and part of the reason I do this, and I'm just going to explicitly tell you, is because I want to model how much harder you're making business than it probably has to be. There's always cool features, there's always cool new tech, you know, there's always people making you feel like you have to do this, or it's not good enough, or it won't work, and it's simply not the reality of the situation. So here's the freedom formula. Three things that we have to take into consideration are peace, our passion, and our profits. And I'm going to break them down each one at a time. What's really cool about all of these buckets is that when we fill these, it not only meets a business need that will make us feel more excited about our business and avoiding that stress and burnout, but it's also going to make us feel more fulfilled as human beings, because each of these buckets ticks some of those human psychological needs that we have as a species. We can't neglect these things. So let's start with your peace, because this is what was hardest for me and sort of the last lesson that I learned in business before I really experienced a tremendous amount of abundant growth personally. I used to be so anxious in my business that I could not sleep at night. If I woke up at night, I would not fall back to sleep. I had so much anxiety. I felt the physical pressure of having a team of people who needed me to show up every day. And I would ask myself, like, how long can I keep doing this? Like, what happens if I burn out? Like, I felt like I was running on this hamster wheel that was never ever going to get to stop. And that was working part-time hours. It wasn't about the time or the hustle so much as the reality that I wasn't taking care of myself, and it was causing so much inner turmoil that it wasn't ever going to go away with a business solution. It was something that had to happen from the inside out. So peace fills our health bucket and our spirituality bucket. And I don't mean religion. You might be religious watching this, and that's great because that can really fill that. But even if you're not, for me, I found a lot of my spiritual growth and health coming from developing a yoga practice, from having quiet time where the mind could sort of check out from the duties and responsibilities of being a business owner and a parent. And this could happen through prayer, journaling, meditation, yoga, being outside in nature, a religious practice. There's so many different ways that we can do this, but I find a lot of high achievers have a really hard time being still because we feel like we're not doing anything. We've attached our worth to productivity, and it's a really, really dangerous model and trap to fall into. And that's where I was. And I felt like my soul was dying. Like, again, someone asked me, how's your soul? And I'm like, I literally have no idea what you're talking about. Your health is both your mental health and your physical health. I've had a lot of students who, as their profitability goes up, their physical health goes down. They are more stagnant. They find themselves sitting and working quite a bit. And when they're not, they're tired. And so they're really neglecting this. And, you know, physical activity and nutrition gets compromised in the pursuit of building this business and not losing their relationships with people, which those things are important. But if we let any of these fall too much, then we have a disaster on the brink of happening. We have to be able to strike some sort of balance or harmony and know, most importantly, how to get back into alignment when one of these things becomes off, not if, when, because life will continue to happen. On the business side of peace, we have a few things we have to take into consideration as well, such as the business model. Are you in alignment with the model you chose? Whether that's high ticket, low ticket, a continuity program like a membership, growing an agency, adding digital products. There are hints, and usually your body will tell you, like, is this in alignment? That this model, does it feel good? Is it something that is doubling down on my strengths? Does it feel peaceful to execute, or do I feel massive amounts of resistance when I try to do this thing? Am I doing it because I want to or because someone told me to? Speaking of someone telling you to, are you content when it comes to your goals? Again, the online space breeds competition naturally because people are constantly telling their stories, their success stories, and they're doing it with a filter. There's not a lot of transparency in what's being told, so you don't even really know what's real and what's not real. And if we're constantly just trying to get the next trophy that some, 8-figure entrepreneur is offering us in their program, or we're constantly comparing ourselves to other people, we're never going to feel content around our goals. So can you find contentment? That will bring you peace in your business. And are you committed to both the model but also the strategy? I find in sales and marketing, when you're not committed to following through with what you said you're going to do, there's usually a reason. And the reason is that the strategy that you chose is out of alignment with what's going to work best for you. So if you see everybody doing reels and you think the only way to be successful is with short form video because that's all you see everybody doing, but you're resisting every single day. It feels hard. You're not doing it. You're avoiding it. You'd rather do anything else. We need to figure out what about it is out of alignment. Is it because you're trying to do video, but really you're a writer, or vice versa? If you're trying to grow this email list because everybody told you have to have an email list, but you love doing videos, then you're probably not going to honor that commitment. It's going to impact your peace as a business owner. Okay, let's talk about passion a little bit more. When it comes to passion, the human needs that it's filling are your relationships is with other people, your clients, your children, your parents, your spouse, your siblings, your community. This is important. We are not meant to be alone, isolated creatures. It's why the pandemic was so hard for many of us, and why having an online business can feel so lonely when you don't find a community of your people. Of course, if you are looking for your people online, make sure you join the Free Mama Movement Facebook group. I will put a link down in the comments below. Another part of our passion that fills our human needs, though, is the knowledge, growth, learning, adventure. We need this newness as humans. We seek it out. It's why so many people will leave a job after a few years if they don't feel like they're being challenged or there's not a promotional opportunity for them. We strive off of this type of growth. And when we can express these things, both through hobbies and our personal interests, but also through our business, it's really powerful. So what does passion look like in your business? Because I'm married to someone who's not passionate about what he does. My husband runs Google ads for businesses all across the country in a whole variety of niches. And it's not that he loves Google ads, but he loves thinking strategically. He loves consulting with the people that he works with. So it rests on a lot of his strengths. So knowing your leadership style in your business, that means what are your natural strengths, and does your business model lead to that? Is it giving you the ability to do that? My husband is a visionary. He is a strategic and creative thinker. And while he's not passionate about Google ads, he gets to express his leadership style in his business every time he interacts with clients. If you're not doing that, you will not feel passionate about your business, regardless of the service you provide. Let's talk about messaging and your offer. Your passion should come through when you're doing this. It's going to make sales really difficult if you're not passionate about what you're selling, but also your messaging is what makes you uniquely you. So many people in the Free Mama community know really funny things about me, and they feel like they know me, even if we've never met in real life. They know I love Britney Spears. They know I like cozy socks. They know I only drink iced coffee. And there's a handful of other things too. They feel like they know me through my messaging, and they're able to connect not just with me on a personal level, but with my business and our mission and what I do. And then it comes down to our offers, where my passion comes through for the work that I do in the world, and it makes people want to work with me. If you're not attracting prospective clients to you in your business through your messaging and your offer and the knowledge that you have, something in your passion is probably out of whack. And it's worth saying that if you're spending all of your time inside of your business, you might need to further develop your passions outside of your business as well. Last but not least is profit. And this is important. If you are running a business, there's no point not talking about money. We should talk about money, and you should want to make money as a business owner. And we have all kinds of money mindset issues and all sorts of things that can happen and get in our way of doing that. It is a part of the freedom formula, though. Money is how we buy our time. If you want to feel more free in your business, you have to be making money. The challenge is that a lot of people are trying to make money exclusively. What do I mean by that? It means they are willing to spend a ton of money in order to make money. I come from a community of entrepreneurs where there is an award called the 2 Comma Club Award, and it was startling for me to learn how many people were earning a 2 Comma Club Award but were not paying themselves and were not actually profitable as a company. This to me is actually mind-blowing, because profitability is the name of the game as a business, okay? Your human needs that are being met are your career and your finances. Again, money's the tool, it's the currency of the world. You need it to buy stuff. You need it to live. You need it for food and clothing and shelter. And if you are a lifestyle entrepreneur like me, you might need it for an RV or a campground or to be able to travel the world. So money is not bad. The problem is if we only talk about how to make money and we don't talk about how to keep it and then how to make money work for us in terms of investing it into future growth, you are going to have a very stressful situation on your hands. So we have to switch the conversation from revenue to profitability. Profitability is what measures the actual success of your business. And we can do this by working smarter and not harder, auditing and recalibrating what are the offers inside of your business that are most profitable, what's making the most money, what has the least input for the biggest impact. And these are questions that a lot of business owners don't take the time to ask themselves because they're so focused on revenue overall. But profitability, and if you can focus on this inside of your business, it's going to make an extremely big difference on how much freedom you feel as a business owner. Last thing about profit that I will say is there's, the funny saying, more money, more problems. Money just creates more of what already is. So if you're experiencing that more money, more problems, you actually have an alignment issue, and it may or may not be with profit. It could be within your passion or your peace. It could be that your leadership style is not being tapped into. You've built a business model that's making you have more responsibility, and it's the kind of responsibility maybe you don't want as a business owner, and you don't know how to either outsource that or shift the model. Everything within the freedom formula is about recalibrating so that you feel peaceful and passionate while making money inside of your business. And you don't have to do this by yourself. If you know that something is off in your business, we have a new coaching program. It is just radical in terms of its focus on you and your goals and finding those 3 specific things that need to shift in order to create a domino effect of other things in your business that might be leaving you feel unsettled. So if you feel overwhelmed or stressed by what you've got on your plate, if you've thought about burning your business down, but the reality is you need the money that it provides and you just know that something is off, I encourage you to apply for Peace, Passion, Profit. It's a 90-day program where you work directly with me on your goals, and it is specifically customized to each member going through it, but there's also a group component as well. So I'm going to put the application link down in the comments below. Our goal is to help you feel more free as a business owner, and it's more possible now than ever with more accountability and self-awareness. If you found this helpful and it gave you some ahas about, wow, I really need to make a shift in one area of my life, I would love your transparency back to me down in the comments below. Let me know what you're struggling with most, and maybe we can brainstorm some ideas together. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, make sure you get that application in. We will be evaluating those on an ongoing basis, and we will get back to you if we think you are a great fit for this program. That's all from me, wishing you more peace, passion, and profit inside of your business. If you have any questions or would like to see me go deeper on any one of these topics, let me know down in the comments below.